One of the greatest concerns that I have in the views, the visions that I was shown, the information that was shared to me on board that craft, they talked to me a lot when I was with them about seeds. And I'm always trying to share this information with people. One of the things that could save this earth is seeds. Because if every individual on the planet planted a small garden, we would not have to produce as much oil or transportation or pollution or plastics to, everything. It would also give every individual on the planet a taste again, a glimpse of why we're here, to be able to experience the beauty around us. Now, I'm going to ask everyone to take away from this whole interview today, if they educate themselves on any one thing, I'm going to ask them to educate themselves on what is happening to the Earth's seeds, because it is of great concern to these tall blondes and always has been. And even for myself, what I have learned in the last few years regarding seeds and what's happening on the Earth, it is the greatest concern that every individual should have. If you accept that we're not alone, that's great. But educate yourself on seeds, because it will change your view in the world and it will change the course of this earth for the better.
Wonderful. Okay, that's a very different take than you generally hear, and I think there's a lot of wisdom there in that approach. You don't even need free energy if you just plant a garden, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
I wanted to share something else.
Okay.
You asked me a question. You asked me a question regarding something that was given to me, and I know that anyone watching this is going to be going back to that,
right,
because it's very important.
Yeah.
When I was on board the craft in 1988, I had memories come back to me from childhood that were very interesting, because it was of a time when I was a very young child, about 4 or 5 years old, when I was taken on board a craft. And this memory came back to me very, very clearly. So I really get into the details of this in the book, because it is a key point to this phenomenon for myself. Now, to take this story and put it into a few sentences, I was taken on board a craft when I was 4 years old, and during that time these beings gave me something and they told me to bury it, and they said that one day I would know what it was for and that I would go back and find it. I get asked this all the time because I've written about it in great detail throughout the course of my life. This thing keeps coming up over and over and over again. I have not found it yet. I know the area that it is in, but I have not found it yet. The question again is it my imagination? Absolutely not. Because I have had far too many confirmations of this information given to me over the years. One in particular coming back to me 35 years after the fact, 36 years after the fact. And a very clear indication that these memories that came back were absolutely crystal clear. So is it there? I believe it is. Have I found it? No, I haven't. Will I let you know if I have? I think the world will know if I have. The path that I've been on for the last few years of my life, since 2003, have in a very roundabout way been my driving force. And this object is constantly in my mind. And what I've noticed is, since 2003 to the present day, the images of it have become clearer and clearer and clearer. So does that mean it's coming back to me? Does that mean it's physically coming back to me? I believe it is. So I think we'll all, including myself, because I live this life, because it is so profound every day, even for me, and because of the things that I've experienced in the past, I am no different than anyone else out there. I'm waiting to see what happens next.
Well, thank you very much, Miriam. I call you Miriam Bluestar, and there's a significance to the blue star that you haven't mentioned. Would you like to talk about that briefly?
Yes. The blue star is a prophecy of the Hopi people, and again, I do not speak on behalf of Hopi. However, when I was on the craft in 1988, they told me that one day a star would appear in the sky for all of man to see. Nothing or no one would hide its presence from the world, and it would be a sign to the people that the end is near and it is time to prepare. In 2003, when I went through Hopi and I went back home, I then went online and I started looking up the Hopi, trying to gather information about them. And it was then that I found the Hopi prophecy, which is identical as well as the creation myth to the information that was given to me regarding the Hopi people. So the blue star is a prophecy of the Hopi people, and I was told that the star would appear exactly the same as the Hopi. So what I would ask is that you do your own research regarding these people and all the indigenous people around the world. It will give you great insight and spiritual understanding.
But there was a blue star in the sky not so long ago. We were driving through New Mexico at the time, and people were commenting on it. You don't actually know if that was the blue star, is that right?
Because the blue star is a prophecy of the Hopi people, I cannot say for sure whether or not that was the blue star. But that was a comet that blew up. It was it's called 17P/Holmes, if you wanted to look it up. It will give you more information. And this was a comet that astounded researchers and astronomers because of what happened as a result of it. It blew up and it was showing blue in the sky all over the earth. It was very, very clear at that time, yes.